Today, we confront the invisible wound, the one that doesn't bleed or scar on the surface, but aches deep within the soul, the loss of self-respect. It's a quiet corrosion born from 1,000 tiny compromises, broken promises to oneself, and the slow, insidious habit of placing the opinions of others above our own internal compass. It is the feeling of being a stranger in your own life, guided by a script you didn't write. In the minutes that follow, we will embark on a journey of reconstruction. This is not a list of superficial life hacks or hollow affirmations. This is a deep excavation of the root causes of self-disrespect and a systematic rebuilding process based on the most resilient philosophy known to man. We will walk through the muddy encampments of the Germanic frontier with Emperor Marcus Aurelius to understand how he maintained his integrity amidst chaos. We will decipher the private letters of Seneca to see how he coached his friends through profound personal failure. We will explore the modern psychological principles of cognitive dissonance and self-efficacy that prove what these ancient masters knew intuitively. We will provide you with a specific actionable toolkit, the very same mental models used by emperors, philosophers, and leaders to forge an unbreakable inner core. The promise is this: what you are about to learn is not mere information. It is a transformative algorithm for your character. If you click away, you risk allowing that quiet corrosion to continue, to become a permanent feature of your identity. But if you stay, if you commit your attention to this process, you will walk away not just with your self-respect restored, but with the knowledge of how to build it, protect it, and make it the unshakable foundation of your entire existence. The feeling is unmistakable. It's a quiet, heavy weight in the center of your chest. It's the reluctance to meet your own eyes in the mirror. It's the voice in the back of your head that whispers words of doubt and disappointment after you make a decision, or more often, after you fail to make one. This is the phantom pain of lost self-respect. It is one of the most debilitating, yet least discussed, epidemics of the modern mind. We are taught to seek respect from others, from our bosses, our peers, our partners, our society. We are given a roadmap to external validation. Achieve this, acquire that, look like this, post that. But no one ever gives us the blueprint for earning the most important respect of all, our own. And so when it's gone, we feel utterly and completely lost, as if the North Star of our own life has vanished from the sky. We lose it in increments, in a series of 1,000 tiny betrayals of the self. We lose a piece when we say yes when our entire being screams no. We lose a piece when we promise ourselves we'll wake up early to work on our dream and instead we hit the snooze button for the 100th time. We lose a piece when we stay silent in the face of injustice because we fear the consequences of speaking up. We lose a piece when we allow someone to treat us poorly because we believe on some subconscious level that we deserve it. Each of these moments is a hairline fracture in our foundation, and over time, these fractures spread until the entire structure of our self-worth becomes unstable, ready to crumble under the slightest pressure. To regain it, we must become architects of our own character, and our tools are the principles of Stoicism, a philosophy forged not in comfortable lecture halls, but in the brutal arenas of Roman politics, in the chaos of war, and in the face of exile and execution. Our first and most fundamental tool is the Stoic concept known as the dichotomy of control. This is the bedrock upon which all self-respect is built. The ancient philosopher Epictetus, who was born a slave and endured a life of immense physical hardship, including a permanently broken leg at the hands of a cruel master, distilled this powerful idea into a simple, life-altering axiom: some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are our own opinions, aspirations, desires, and aversions. In short, everything that is a product of our own mind. Not within our power are our body, our possessions, our reputation, and everything that is not a product of our own mind. The loss of self-respect begins, almost without exception, when we confuse these two categories. We chain our sense of self-worth to things we cannot command. We feel shame when someone forms a negative opinion of us, forgetting that their opinion is a product of their mind, not ours. We feel like a failure when we don't get the promotion, forgetting that the final decision rests with others. We despise our past, forgetting that it is cemented in time, utterly beyond our influence. This is a recipe for perpetual self-flagellation. Imagine a skilled archer. She can control the quality of her bow, the straightness of her arrows, her stance, her breathing, her focus, and the moment of release. She can pour all of her energy and training into perfecting these things, the things within her power. However, she cannot control the sudden gust of wind that might appear a moment after the arrow leaves the bow. She cannot control if the target suddenly moves or if a bird flies in the way. The Stoic archer, the archer who respects herself, judges her performance based on the quality of her execution, not on whether the arrow hits the bullseye. She finds her worth in her effort, her discipline, her focus, the internal virtues she commands. The amateur archer, the one who lacks self-respect, judges herself solely on the outcome. If the arrow misses due to a gust of wind, she berates herself, calls herself a failure, and her self-worth plummets. She has tied her identity to something external, something utterly beyond her control. Most of us live our lives as the amateur archer. We are obsessed with the gusts of wind. To regain self-respect, you must become the professional. You must relentlessly, obsessively practice distinguishing between what is yours to control and what is not. This isn't a one-time realization, it's a daily, hourly discipline. When you feel that familiar pang of shame or inadequacy, you must stop and ask, is the source of this feeling something I can directly control? Is it my action, my judgment, my choice? Or is it someone else's opinion, a past event, or a future outcome? If it's the latter, you must train yourself to view it with what the Stoics called indifference. Not a cold, callous indifference, but a calm, rational acceptance that it is external. It is not of your business and therefore has no legitimate concern, claim over your inner peace or your self-worth. Let's make this intensely practical. Begin a simple daily practice. At the end of each day, take a journal and draw a line down the middle of the page. On the left side, write down all the things that caused you emotional distress or a loss of self-respect that day. Perhaps a colleague made a passive-aggressive comment. Perhaps you saw someone on social media living a life you covet. Perhaps you made a mistake on a project. Now, for each item, analyze it and place it in one of two columns on the right side of the page. Within my control or not within my control. The colleague's comment, not in your control. Their mind is their own. The curated life on social media, not in your control. The mistake on the project, this is nuanced. The mistake itself is in the past, so it's not in your control. However, your response to it, how you learn from it, whether you correct it, whether you apologize for it, that is 100% within your control. This simple exercise, practiced consistently, begins to rewire your brain. It trains you to detach your sense of self from the chaotic, unpredictable world of externals, and to anchor it firmly in the one place you are sovereign, your own mind and your own choices. This is the first giant step toward rebuilding your inner citadel. Now we move to the second foundational pillar, the power of kept promises. Self-respect is a synonym for self-trust. You cannot respect someone you do not trust, and this is doubly true for the person in the mirror. Every time you set an intention and fail to follow through, you are casting a vote against your own credibility. When you promise yourself you'll start the diet on Monday, and Monday comes and goes with a bag of chips in your hand, you've done more than just delay a health goal. You've sent a powerful message to your subconscious. My word is not my bond. My intentions are meaningless. Do this enough times, and you cultivate a deep-seated belief that you are incapable and unreliable. This internal narrative becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You stop trying, because why would you? You already know you're going to let yourself down. You have lost faith in your own executive function. Rebuilding this trust is paramount, and it begins not with grand, sweeping gestures, but with microscopic, almost insultingly small acts of integrity. Consider the Roman concept of disciplina. This was the core virtue of the Roman legions, the force that allowed a relatively small nation to conquer and manage a vast empire. Disciplina was not about punishment, but about a rigorous, consistent, daily commitment to small, repeatable actions. It was about the way a soldier maintained his gear, the precision of his march, the way he set up his camp every single night, no matter how exhausted he was. The generals understood that victory in the chaos of battle was forged in the boring, repetitive discipline of the training ground. An army that trusts itself to execute the small things flawlessly will hold together under immense pressure. Your mind is your army. To prepare it for the great battles of life, you must instill disciplina. You must start by winning the small, seemingly insignificant skirmishes of the day. The goal here is not to change your life overnight. The goal is to collect proof. You are acting as a lawyer, building a case for your own reliability. Each kept promise is a piece of evidence presented to the jury of your subconscious. So how do we apply this? You start with the one promise a day rule. And this promise must be so simple that it is virtually impossible to fail. Do not promise to go to the gym for an hour. Promise to put on your gym clothes. That's it. The victory is in the act of putting on the clothes. If you go to the gym, that's a bonus. Do not promise to write a chapter of your book. Promise to open the document and write one sentence. The victory is in writing that single sentence. Do not promise to meditate for 30 minutes. Promise to sit on the cushion for 60 seconds of silence. The objective is not the task itself, but the unbroken chain of kept promises. You are retraining your brain to associate your word with action. You are reestablishing a causal link between intention and execution. After a week of keeping 7 tiny promises, your internal narrative begins to shift. Maybe I am someone who does what they say they'll do. After a month, that maybe becomes a quiet confidence. After 3 months, it becomes a core part of your identity. You start to respect yourself not because you've suddenly become a paragon of productivity, but because you've become a person of your word. You have proven to yourself that you are trustworthy. From this solid foundation of self-trust, you can then begin to make slightly larger promises, slowly expanding your capacity for discipline and action. But it all starts with one laughably small promise, kept with absolute integrity. The third Stoic principle we must integrate is amor fati, the love of one's fate. This is perhaps the most challenging, yet most liberating concept. A significant portion of our self-disrespect is rooted in the past. We are haunted by our mistakes, our failures, our moments of weakness or cowardice. We carry these events like heavy stones in a sack, and the weight of them stoops our shoulders and darkens our present. We cannot respect the person we are today because we are filled with contempt for the person we were yesterday. We are locked in a battle with reality, wishing things had been different, that we had been different. This is a war we can never win, and it drains us of the very energy we need to build a better future. Amor fati is the practice of not just accepting your past, but embracing it as a necessary part of the tapestry of your life. It is the deep, radical conviction that every single event, good and bad, painful and joyful, was an essential ingredient in forging the person you are today. Think of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He was arguably the most powerful man in the world, yet his private journal, the Meditations, is not a record of triumphs. It is a workbook filled with self-correction, reminders to be better, and struggles with his own flaws. He dealt with constant warfare, a plague that devastated his empire, the death of many of his children, and likely infidelity from his wife. He had every reason to be bitter, to curse his fate. Instead, he wrote things like, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He practiced seeing every obstacle not as a barrier, but as a new path. The betrayal he faced was an opportunity to practice forgiveness. The stress of war was an opportunity to practice courage and equanimity. The grief of loss was an opportunity to practice resilience. He understood that these challenges were not happening to him, they were happening for him. They were the raw material provided by the universe for him to practice virtue and build his character. This is the essence of amor fati. It is the alchemical process of turning the lead of your past into the gold of your present character. To practice this, you must become a historian of your own life, but one with a specific purpose. To find the lesson in every loss, the strength in every scar. Take one past event that you carry with shame or regret. A failed business, a broken relationship, a moment of profound embarrassment. Now, instead of replaying the pain, force yourself to answer these questions with brutal honesty. What did I learn from this? What strength did I discover in myself only because I endured this? How did this failure redirect me to a path that was ultimately better for me? In what ways am I a wiser, stronger, or more compassionate person today precisely because this happened? You are not excusing the mistake. You are not saying it was good that it happened. You are reframing it as a necessary part of your curriculum. Your past is not a life sentence. It is a tuition fee for the wisdom you possess today. When you can look back at your darkest moments and genuinely say, "I would not trade the wisdom I gained for a sanitized past," you have achieved amor fati. You have made peace with your own story. And it is impossible not to respect someone who has turned their greatest wounds into their greatest opportunities. Strengths. Fourth, we must cultivate perspective through two powerful Stoic meditations, Memento Mori, Remember You Must Die, and The View from Above. Our self-respect is often fragile because our perspective is too narrow. We are the main character in our own movie, and as a result, we magnify our flaws, our anxieties, and our social blunders to epic proportions. A clumsy comment in a meeting can feel like a world-ending catastrophe. A rejection can feel like a definitive judgment on our entire worth as a human being. We lose respect for ourselves over things that are, in the grand scheme of things, utterly insignificant. The Stoics developed powerful mental technologies to shatter this narcissistic and self-destructive perspective. Memento Mori is the practice of meditating on your own mortality. This may sound morbid, but its effect is the opposite. It is an invigorating call to clarity. When you truly internalize the fact that your time is finite, the trivial concerns that chip away at your self-respect are revealed for the dust that they are. Seneca urged his friend Lucilius to "let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. When you remember that you will die, you stop sweating the small stuff. Will the opinion of that stranger matter on your deathbed? Will the embarrassment you felt last Tuesday matter? No. What will matter is whether you lived with courage, whether you were true to your values, whether you kept your promises to yourself. Meditating on death doesn't make you reckless. It makes you focused. It clarifies your priorities and burns away the insignificant anxieties that cause you to act in ways you don't respect. It forces you to ask the ultimate question, am I living a life I can be proud of right now? Complementing this is the view from above. This is a visualization exercise Marcus Aurelius practiced regularly. You begin by imagining yourself floating up, out of your chair, above the room, above the building, above your city. You see the cars like tiny ants, the grand dramas of your neighborhood playing out in silence. You keep rising, seeing your country, the continents, the curve of the earth, a beautiful blue marble suspended in the blackness. You float past the moon, past Mars, seeing the solar system as a delicate cosmic mobile. You continue outward, past galaxies and nebulae, until the entire known universe is just a speck of light in an infinite void. From this vantage point, you then look back for your problem. You look for the source of your shame, your anxiety, your lost self-respect. Where is it? It has vanished. It has been dissolved by the sheer scale of reality. This exercise is a powerful antidote to the ego. It reminds you that your personal dramas, while feeling all-consuming, are infinitesimally small. This doesn't mean they don't matter, but it places them in their proper context. It allows you to approach your problems with calmness, rationality, and a sense of perspective, rather than with panicked, self-loathing emotion. Practicing these two meditations regularly, perhaps once a week, will dramatically shrink the power that trivialities have over your sense of self. Finally, all of these principles culminate in the fifth and ultimate pillar, living in accordance with virtue. For the Stoics, self-respect was not the goal. It was the natural byproduct of a life dedicated to virtue. They believed that the sole good in life was to cultivate an excellent character, defined by four cardinal virtues: wisdom, the ability to navigate complex situations with logic and reason; justice, treating others with fairness and kindness; courage, facing daily challenges with clarity and integrity; and temperance, exercising moderation and self-control over your desires. A person who dedicates their life to acting with virtue, regardless of the outcome, will inevitably respect themselves. Their self-worth is not derived from external achievements, wealth, or praise. It is derived from the knowledge that they are trying their best to be a good person, moment by moment. Their internal scorecard is based on character, not circumstance. This is the final piece of the puzzle. You must define what virtue means to you. What are your non-negotiable values? What principles do you want to stand for? Take the time to write them down. Perhaps your virtues are honesty, compassion, discipline, and growth. Once you have your personal code, the path to self-respect becomes incredibly simple, though not easy. Each day, you have hundreds of opportunities to act in accordance with that code or to betray it. When a coworker is struggling, do you act with compassion or with indifference? When you have the choice between the easy, comfortable path and the difficult, disciplined path, which do you choose? When you have the chance to tell a convenient lie or a difficult truth, which do you choose? Self-respect is forged in these small, daily moral choices. It's not about being perfect, it's about the sincere effort. It's about choosing the virtuous path more often than not. It's about, when you fail, you acknowledge it without self-loathing, learn from it, and recommit to your code. A person who lives this way cannot help but respect themselves, because they know they are engaged in the noblest possible pursuit. the conscious and deliberate creation of a virtuous character. To regain your self-respect is not to embark on a quest for some magical feeling of worthiness. It is to begin the quiet, methodical, daily work of an artisan. You are the sculptor, and your character is the stone. With the tool of the dichotomy of control, you chip away the parts that are not your concern. With the tool of kept promises, you build a foundation of self-trust. With the tool of amor fati, you sand and polish the rough edges of your past until they shine with wisdom. With the tools of memento mori and the view from above, you gain the perspective needed to see the whole sculpture clearly. And with the ultimate tool of virtue, you guide every strike, ensuring that the final form is one of beauty, strength, and integrity. This is a lifelong work, but it begins today with one small choice: the choice to control what you can control, to keep one tiny promise, to find the lesson in one past pain, and to act in accordance with one of your values. This is the path. It is a path of action, not affirmation. And by walking it, you will not find self-respect. You will build it. And what you build yourself cannot be taken away by anyone. The path to self-respect is walked daily, through deliberate action and conscious thought. If this guide resonated with you, subscribe for more wisdom on building an unbreakable mind. Now I ask you, what is the one single promise you will make to yourself and keep starting today?